Hello guys, it's Priya Ayo here. Welcome back to my channel. And if it's the first time you are coming across my channel, I'm a professional forex trader and I make educational forex content. Be sure to like, subscribe and check out my other videos. Also drop a comment on other forex content you would like me to make. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. A wise man once said, backtesting isn't about winning trades, it's about catching your losers early. Today I'm going to be showing you literal game changers to your backtesting game. Now, you've been backtesting, your win rate is okay, but anytime you take live trades, you notice that most of the time you are losing those trades. Well, it could be because you've not been adding these three things I'm about to show you today. Now, a typical backtesting journal should contain headings like this. You have your assets, the session, risk to reward, your entry confirmation, the duration of your trade, whether the trade is a win or a loss, then your trade management, which is like your behavior or what you intend on doing before and during the trade. So apart from these headings here, the essential things you should definitely be adding are, the first one being, identify your most profitable session. Now, we have our sessions, we know we have London, we have Asian, we have New York. And if you are able to get as much data as you can from your trade, let's say you take a 50 trade sample size, that's you backtested 50 trades. You had like 40% wins in Asian session and 50% wins in 25 session. 50% win rate and 40% win rate is very, very high, extremely high. Not saying you can't make wins from 10%, but this is a game of longevity, yeah. So it's a game of probability, yeah. So you have to make sure that you are doing what is best for you. Now, personally, I'd rather take trades in the New York session and Asian session since they have higher win rates. So there's a higher probability that I'll make more money trading those sessions than trading during the London session. Now, take another example. In this case, that's 12 wins and 5 wins during Asian and New York session. But I had 20 wins during London session. So what I'll do is every day I wake up, I wait until London session, look for my entry confirmation using my strategy, and I take my trades. It removes a lot of the guesswork out of it, and it actually makes it much more easier. The next thing you should be adding is knowing the average time when you get your trade entries, your trade entry confirmations, whether it be candlesticks or when you see a confirmation that allows you to place your limit orders. For the first case where we have a winning session in New York session and the Asian session early in the morning, that's African time. Let's say around 2 a.m. you wake up in the morning, or let's say you wake up by 1 o'clock, but you don't see your entry confirmation until 2:30. And the next day, let's say throughout the 50 trades that you took, or this your 20 wins, most of the time when you got an entry confirmation was between 2:30 a.m. till 4:30 a.m. in the morning. This period is the time you would be looking out for your setup during the Asian session. So you see how we are taking it step by step. So we've already known our winning session. Now the winning times during the session, that's when you are looking at your chart. So it makes it easier, removes a lot of guesswork, and you notice that this is a game of patience, so it helps you to be more patient and wait for your session. So same thing applies. New York session, your entries, let's say from 2 p.m. that's West African time, up till let's say 5:30, that's when you get your entry. That time period you are looking at your trade, you're looking at your charts, looking for an entry. And the last thing you must do is be brutally honest about your entries, your exits, your trade management. That's during different market conditions. Now what this means is you are backtesting, all right, it's not the live conditions, but you have to simulate your emotions, and you have to simulate the market conditions as it will be in reality. Like for example, I see my entry during New York session, but there's about to be NFP. Am I still going to enter that trade, or am I going to wait until the trade plays out? Now, if I do enter the trade with my backtesting, I see, okay, did I win the trade or not? Or if it results in more losses than wins, definitely I know that now I'm not going to enter any trade once there is a high volatility news, once I'm expecting high volatility news that particular day. So another thing is your exits. Okay, where am I taking my profit? Am I leaving this trade early? Am I going to place a TP at a certain point at the next high or at the next low, based on maybe market structure or based on the trend? Okay, the market is trending. Am I going to have left my TP to run long for longer because it's an uptrend and it has been trending for a long time, so you expect it to go higher? So you backtest every single thing like this and you get the data. So once you have that data in hand, it helps you to avoid entry traps as much as possible. For an entry trap, for example, could be that, oh, just before NFP it broke your zone. Like for myself, I usually take entries on breaks and then retest. I enter on those two conditions mostly. So if I get an entry just before NFP, from my backtesting, I already know that most of the time it might take me out before going in direction, but it might just not move in my direction at all, or sometimes it might win, but most of the time it takes me out. So because of that, my entries, I do not take them just before the news, and the same thing applies to when I'm backtesting. So I have my Forex factory or whatever you use to get your news on the side, and I just mark the days out. You can use a ruler tool or something to mark those days out during your backtesting, and you are able to identify the days and the time when the news is about to hit, so you avoid it altogether. Now, it also helps you to identify how your strategy works during news events. Now, by the time you add these three things that I've listed here to your backtesting, you should see a drastic improvement. Don't let me just tell you, you should actually try it out yourself. You practice it and give me feedback. Let's see how it goes. So this should be all for this video. See you guys in the next video. Peace.